Ladies and gentlemen, we are just days away from midterms. So Trump is going to be on the bullhorn a lot, especially over this immigration issue. In the recent days, we have heard him saying he was going to use executive orders to end birthrights in this country. Now he is saying that they're going to block these migrants from getting asylum. And what they want to do is when they reach the U.S. Mexico border, they want to put them in tent cities indefinitely. So he offered these remarks, of course, in front of the press. And he is saying that these migrants from Central America are a national security threat. He is saying that, the families with children, he considers it dangerous, and this is, of course, an invasion. You would think many of these people that have children would know better, but they're out here putting their children in harm's way. Why? I don't know. You know, Trump is going to say everything that his voters want to hear. He really can't fight so much on the domestic terrorism level because, you know, he won't speak against a lot of these groups out here. And we saw that from Charlottesville. So he's going to avoid that subject matter altogether and jump on immigration. So Trump said the emergency steps he plans to take would protect the United States against what he characterized as a rampant fraud that threatens to overwhelm the nation's immigration system. Okay, so Trump offered no legal rationale for his plan, and he brushed off questions about the legality of some of the methods he suggested could be employed, such as detaining families indefinitely or refusing migrants a hearing in immigration court. Such moves would likely trigger legal challenges from civil rights groups. A lawsuit filed Thursday in D.C. federal court on behalf of 6 Honduran citizens argues that the president's response to the Caravan violates the rights of asylum seekers by aiming to block them from entry or else indefinitely detaining them under unsuitable conditions should they arrive, which we know they will. Trump also suggests the U.S. military at the border could fire on members of the caravan if the migrants throw rocks at soldiers. Attorneys at the White House, Department of Homeland Security, and Department of Justice have struggled in recent weeks to make Trump's sweeping demands to suspend humanitarian protections comport with U.S. laws that protect the right to seek refuge on U.S. soil, regardless of how an asylum seeker arrives. These illegal Caravans will not be allowed into the United States, Trump said. They should turn back now. They're wasting their time. In a sign that the administration is moving to carry out Trump's orders, DHS has asked the Pentagon to provide up to 8,000 family detention beds at two sites, an administration official confirmed to the Washington Post on Thursday. Trump and his Republican allies have expressed confidence that Trump's hardline immigration message will motivate his conservative base as Republicans try to maintain control of Congress. And I'm telling you, that's what all this tough talk is about. All right. We are just, like I said, just a few days away from midterms. Democrats have accused Trump of fanning public fears over a group of migrant families that has dwindled and remains 800 miles from the United States. So they still got another 800 miles to go to reach the border. Okay, as a migrant caravan with an estimated 2,300 children makes its way to the border, a parent and a boy explain why they're making the trek. The president's speech was a political stunt aimed at whipping up fear and xenophobia. Just days before the election, Representative Benny G. Thompson, Mississippi, the ranking Democrat on the House Homeland Security Committee, said in a statement, so, of course, you got the ACLU and other human rights groups watching, and they're all saying the same thing. Trump is just ramping everything up because of the midterms, and I agree with that as well. But I really think these people should not try to come here. They're making a huge mistake. Trump's vow of a new executive order came after he authorized the deployment of more than 7,000 troops. See, I heard 5,000 yesterday, so 7,000 to assist in security operations at the U.S. Mexico border, the largest peacetime deployment of active duty troops to the border in nearly a century. In his remarks, Trump praised the troops, which the Pentagon said would act in supporting. So, in other words, they're going to be supporting the U.S. border agents who have the legal authority to make arrests. Trump claimed that Mexican soldiers were hurt badly during clashes with a second group of migrants at the Guatemala border last Sunday. These are tough people. In many cases, you have young men, strong men, Trump said, but the Mexican forces were federal police, not military, and there were no reports of serious injuries. All right. And the reporters did ask Trump if the U.S. military would use lethal force. Trump suggested that the troops would be compelled to respond to violent confrontations. They want to throw rocks at our military. Our military fights back, Trump said. We're going to consider, and I told them, consider it a rifle. Well, News of Trump's comments had reached the Caravan by Thursday night. All right, so I guess they're telling these folks exactly what Trump is saying before they reach the border. And the people in the Caravan, this is just a person they were talking to, they won't shoot because we're not criminals, said Eric Miranda, 39. Actually, if you cross that border, that's exactly what you are. You are a criminal. He said he had lived in the United States for 15 years and he'd been deported twice despite asking for asylum. How horrible, said Daniela Carbaldla, 27, when told of Trump's threat. I'm not justifying throwing rocks, but remember, we have children among us. Well, maybe you shouldn't have children out there. You know, you're putting your kids in all this danger. I don't know, y'all. I don't respect that. I don't respect how they're putting their children in danger. If approved by the asylum officer, applicants are typically released in the United States while waiting for a hearing, which could take a year or longer because immigration courts have a backlog of more than 750,000 cases. Wow, never knew it was that big. But ladies and gentlemen, this is just an update on what's going on, and you just have to consider the fact, like I said, this is very close to the midterms that this is happening. And so you're going to keep hearing Trump hyping this stuff all the way up until the day of the midterms, because this is what his constituents want to hear. This is what their base want to hear. You know, I definitely don't agree with what these folks are doing, but nevertheless, they're continuing on to the U.S. Mexico border, as you can see. But we will keep a close watch on this whole thing and see how it unfolds, ladies and gentlemen. That's all we can do. But please tell me what you think of this whole thing. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell. And I will see you on the next video. Peace, family.